Hi. Okay, so today's topic is a little different. Actually, quite different. Over the last year, I had so many different kind of messages, questions on the YouTube videos, on the blog, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, wherever I am. A lot of questions about investing, day trading, and related topics. Because the pandemic last year, 2020, meant that a lot of people were sitting at home, they were working from home or were not working from home. And we're looking for opportunities. We're looking for passive income. We're looking for maybe even career change, or starting up a business. And one of the things that sort of popped up or pops up, and you might have had the same experience, is this potential for investing, but also day trading, investing, right? In stocks, in currencies, futures, options, and so on and so forth. So this video, we're going to talk about whether day trading could be a viable kind of a business option for 2021, or whether day trading is a viable option as a career. So if you're thinking, should I sort of get into day trading so that I can operate from the home and sort of derive revenue and income from that, then this video is for you. First, we'll talk about what day trading is. Very briefly, there are tons of videos out there that go into details of the differences between day trading, swing trading, long-term investment, and all that. So I don't want to dwell too much on that. Then we will look at what day trading is not. That is very critical. And then what you have to do to day trade. So to first answer the question, is day trading a viable option for as a business or as a career in 2021? And I'm not going to drag this out till the end. I'm just going to tell you straight up front, yes, day trading can be a viable business or career option. Now, I emphasize the word business because day trading has to be looked at as a business. Now, day trading is nothing but trading stocks or currencies on a daily basis. So you got investment on one end, right? Where you buy, let's say, Tesla stock or Apple or, McDonald's, and you hold on to that stock as an investment for 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 10. Some people hold on for even longer. And what then ends up happening is that that stock hopefully would go up in value. And in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, your original investment doubles, triples, whatever. Of course, it could also go down and, or your original investment may be negative. So that is investing. But if you actually buy stocks and sell the stocks or currencies on the same day or within a few days, then you're looking at the realm of day trading, right? Okay. Now, before you sort of look at day trading, look at brokers, look at strategies, patterns, and all that, the first thing you need to do is look at what day trading is not. So let me share my screen and we will look at what day trading is not. It is not a get-rich scheme, right? So if you're looking for an opportunity to make quick bucks, then day trading is definitely not for you, right? It's a complete no-no. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not an easy business or career. If you think that you can sit at home with your laptop or whatever and trade for a few hours and then, enjoy the rest of the time, then you got to be thinking again. Yes, you can get to that stage where, you trade a few hours and that's it, because you're only working, well, you'll have to do analysis and all that, pre-market, and then you'll have to do reflection and all that post-market. But typically, you could get to a stage where you work a few hours a day and then you live your life, right? You enjoy your life. But that takes potentially a year, no, actually 2 years, maybe 3, 4, 5 years before you get to that stage. So it is not an easy business or career choice. It is not a guaranteed revenue generator, right? So now, of course, I'll tell you how you can sort of bring some kind of guarantee into the equation. But think of the market, the stock market, as very random, right? So randomness plays a big role. And by the way, I'm going to be making individual videos in this series on each of these topics. Well, maybe not each of these topics, but all the important points. For example, why the market is random, right? And why understanding that the market is random is critical for your success as a day trader. I'll do a separate video on that. But yes, so the market is random and there are no guarantees, right? You could have a ton of losing trades and you might lose your original capital. You might lose your kind of investment, overnight. But of course, if you go through a process, then you minimize that risk. But there is no guarantee that you will be making money. It is not without huge risks. If you enter day trading with an investment, I don't know, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, whatever, without going through some of the steps that I will talk about, without educating yourself, then you could lose your investment. You could lose the shirt on your back right off the bat in a single trade. I've seen cases where people have lost thousands of dollars in a single day, and their account is wiped out, and they could never recover from that. So yes, it is not without huge risks, which is to say that it has huge risks. It is not a set and forget kind of work, at least initially, at least in your first year, maybe even the first couple of years. It's not like, okay, I'm going to look at some stocks. Maybe I get some tips from, I don't know, a newsletter that I join or YouTube or something like that. Somebody is just giving these tips and saying, buy this stock or sell this stock. And, I'm just going to set that order and then that's it. I'm going to forget it. The profits are going to come in. No, it doesn't work like that. You will have to analyze the markets. You will have to analyze technical analysis, which is analyzing the stock price itself. And we will look into all those in future videos. But it is not a set and forget. It's not a set and forget kind of passive income, right? It isn't. It is active. You need to actively analyze. And even when the trade is live, you bought something, right? You bought a stock and you're sitting there and you're monitoring it. You've got to be really vigilant. And so it's not a set and forget type of work. It is not cheap to get started. Well, okay. This one needs a little bit of explanation because, look, yes, you could even get started for $500, right? You could start up a day trading account for $500 and you can then, and which is, you start small is good. But we're discussing the question of whether day trading can be a viable business, right? Or career, which means that you do that full time and you derive revenue from it, you pay your bills and all that. But to get to that stage, you would need a lot more capital to get the kind of returns that would enable that kind of lifestyle, right? Where you trade, you make some money on trades and the rest of the time, maybe you're traveling, you're spending time with your family, which is all possible. Don't get me wrong, it's all possible. But it takes a long time. If you just start with $500 or $1,000, it's going to take you a long time to get to that stage. A $10,000 account is probably something reasonable. $25,000, well, again, I'm not going to talk about the technical aspects. For example, there's this the rule where that you cannot day trade if you don't have 25,000 in your account, and that's on certain platforms with certain brokers. I'm not going to go into all that. There are videos out there that that deal with topics like that. But for this video and for this particular point, it is not cheap to get started. Okay, even if you were to start with 500, there are other costs involved. Education, time. So if you're working or if you're in a business right now and you want to eventually become a day trader, then you're going to have to sacrifice a huge chunk of your current time away from your business or away from your whatever you're doing to enable you to become the day trader, which means that there is significant cost associated with it. Not just money, but time and opportunity cost, right? I'm always talking about opportunity cost. That means if you're doing this, what are you giving up? What else are you giving up, right? So you got to think about that. It is not for emotional people. Okay, again, it's a blanket statement, and I'm trying to keep it bullet points. So I do apologize. It might sound like insensitive to say it's not for emotional people because we're all emotional, right? human beings are emotional. So everyone has emotion. Even the most successful day traders have emotion. But what I'm trying to say is that it is not for people who cannot control their emotions. Because when you're day trading, there will be ups and downs. There will be highs and lows. There might be a day where, I don't know, if it's a small account, like a $10,000 account, right? And you might have $1,500 loss, $1,000 loss, right? Or you could have a day where you made $2,500, $4,000. So there's ups and downs. If you are jubilant and you're excited and you're super happy when you make money, and on the days when you lose money, if you're crushed, if you're desperate, if you have despair, then it is not for you. You gotta look at this as a business. And when we come to money management, I will talk to you a little bit about your expectations and things like that. And also in a video, I'll go into details exactly on how to work out how many trades, all that. So for now, I'm trying to say that you got to learn to control your emotions. So look at it very clinically, almost robot-like, right? You got to look at day trading as almost like an exercise, right? It's not about money going in and out, but it's about how good a trader you're becoming, right? What your strategies are and all that. When we look at that in a separate video. But for now, it is not for the undisciplined, right? What do I mean by that? Undisciplined means day trading requires a lot of discipline. Discipline in terms of having a trading plan. Discipline in terms of keeping your emotions in check. Discipline in terms of following through your trading plan and not getting distracted and not getting tempted and controlling your greed, which comes next, and so on. So discipline is required as a day trader. So if you're someone who struggles with discipline, then that is what you need to work on first before thinking of day trading, right? So discipline is fundamental. And yes, day trading is not for the greedy, because day trading is not gambling, right? I mean, people do look at day trading as gambling in the sense that a lot of people think, okay, they watch a video on YouTube or something like that, and they see someone making the other day I was watching a video. This guy was making $160,000 in a single day, and it was a live video or something like that. And there are videos where people make $5,000 a day, 10,000, 20. And when you watch such videos, people the greed in us gets triggered, right? I don't know if you watched that film Wall Street back in the day. It's an old film, but Gordon Gekko says greed is good. Well, greed is good, but not in day trading, right? Greed. Now, what greed means is that if you're expecting 100% return on your investment, or if you're expecting that, without any hard work, without any training, without any kind of effort, if you hope to make $2,000 a day, $4,000 a day, that's all. Those are components of greed. And even while trading, greed can actually sabotage your trades and can turn a winning trade into a losing trade, or maybe a losing trade into a worse losing trade, so on. So undisciplined and greed, they go together, and emotion. That's why these three actually: emotion, greed, and discipline. So you need discipline to control your emotion, to control your greed. So it is not for the greedy. So what do you need for day trading? So let's look at, we looked at what day trading is not, and now we're going to look at how do you mitigate all those things, right? All those negative things that I just spoke about, how do you handle them? How do you mitigate them? First, education, education, education. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on how to train yourself for day trading, but just to summarize it a little bit, you need to educate yourself completely before putting a single dollar into the stock market, right? Even for long-term investments. Now, people hardly ever educate themselves before putting money into even long-term investments. Just because Tesla is a great company or Apple is doing well, so if we put money into it, it's a sure shot. No, maybe it is a sure shot, but you need to educate. And with day trading, you got to educate yourself first and foremost. There's no other way. There's no other way. Education is fundamental. Now, what do I mean by that? You need to learn what day trading is all about. You need to understand how the market works. You need to understand how randomness plays a part in the market, how prices, the price action, price movements, and technical analysis. When you're looking at the price in a chart, and maybe you're looking at a candlestick chart, or you got to understand and you got to learn how to read patterns. And of course, these patterns a lot of the time are just random, but within those patterns, within the price movement, you got to find an edge. And you'll be hearing this word a lot more. Edge. You need an edge to be able to make money in the stock market, because the stock markets are predominantly random. And within that randomness, there are certain kind of windows where you find non-randomness. And that's where you make money. Because if the markets are random, you cannot make money. You cannot make money in a random stock market. But that is what it is. It is random. So within that randomness, there are times when there is non-randomness, and that is where we make money, right? And to do that, you need to study. You need to educate yourself. So I would say, for example, if you're starting on day one, if you're starting now, at least 3 months. Now that is the bare minimum. 3 months to learn the basics, at least fundamentals. And then after 3 months, maybe then you can start paper trading. Now paper trading is nothing but simulation, right? So you're working on a simulated account. You're not putting in real money. Most of the brokers and most of the platforms have paper trading accounts, simulated accounts, where they start you off with 100,000 or 10,000 or sometimes even $1 million, virtual dollars, right? It's not real. And then you play with that account in the sense that you then study the market, you're looking at live trades going on, you put in your live trades, you then understand whether your strategy is working, how it works, what the patterns means, and all that. So education is minimum. 3 months minimum. I would say ideally 6 months, 8 months, or even a year. But okay, 6 months I think is pretty reasonable. If you're fast and you put in a lot of time, you got to put in at least 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours, I would say. 3 hours, yes. And you got to be also involved in it. You need to keep, it's not like, you read a book for an hour and then that's it. No, you got to be looking at, you got to join, maybe a community or something. And I'll tell you more about it. But education is fundamental. You need patience, passion, and perseverance, right? So patience and passion are primary. Perseverance, okay, that depends on individual, but yeah, you need to have patience. This is a long game, right? Day trading is not a short game. It's not about just getting into the market after maybe spending a week or 10 days learning about it, maybe looking at a few patterns and then just blindly going in there. No, it's about patience, a long 3 months to 6 months at least for learning before you even start paper trading. But you could start paper tradings, even while you're learning. And in fact, you should to understand the strategies. But 6 months is when maybe you're ready to put in your first real dollar into the market. Sometimes it could be 8 months. But you need a passion for it. You need to be a passion in the sense that you want to be a day trader. Why? Because having said all the negative things, I can say that if you have discipline and you educate yourself and you follow your process and you become a professional in a sense, right? That means you take this day trading as a business and as a career and not just as a kind of quick rich kind of scheme, then potentially, yes, you could make a lot of money. You could make a lot of money. You could be making, the kinds of money that you hear people make, but it's a long term, right? It takes maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I know traders in their 4th year, 5th year who are still making, they're making decent money, but they're making as much as they might make, for example, if they were running another business or if they were doing a job, for their qualification. This could be like a marketing manager or whatever. Decent, fairly decent, 100,000, 150,000, 200,000 a year. But I also know traders who into their 3rd year, 4th year, who are making over $1 million a year, $2 million a year, and so on. So you need passion. You need to believe that this is the right path for you, that the advantages that day trading has, which is you're your own boss and whatever happens in the market, if the market is going down, if the market is going up, whatever is happening in the world, you can still, trade and make money, hopefully, in those markets. And if you, of course, have a particular, if you have a systematic process, after a while, you could really, literally work those few hours of trading and then close your system, your computer, and then enjoy life. Spend time with your family, trade. And you can decide, for example, that you're going to take a holiday, a couple of weeks, you don't trade. No big deal, right? If you get to that stage. So you're not answerable to anyone. You don't have customers to deal with. You don't have vendors to deal with. You don't have a boss to deal with. You don't have to commute to work. Lots of advantages, but and only if you follow some of these things, right? Okay, startup capital that is not debt. If you are in a position where you can only start trading with money that is debt, either a credit card or you borrowed the money from someone, your friends or family, then I will say no, don't do it, right? Don't do it. Do whatever you're doing, your job, your business, whatever, but save, right? Put aside $100 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever you're capable of. Put it aside to build up this pot, a $5,000 pot, a $10,000 pot, or even a $1,000 pot that is debt-free, that can be put into the market. And also only money that you don't need for other things, right? Don't put in money that is set aside to pay the rent or to pay, I don't know, whatever, right? So don't. Maybe if you set aside money for a vacation, yes, you could use that because it's okay to forego a vacation. This year, for example, a big vacation, a vacation that might cost you and your family, I don't know, $5,000, right? It's okay because in the future, and in fact, this pandemic and all, vacations, holidays, travel is decreased. So it's probably a good time to actually, put that money aside. So no debt. Solid and reasonable goals. So you need to have reasonable goals about your expectations, right? Don't expect to make 100% return, 200%, 3,000% return as you see on videos on YouTube, at least in the beginning, right? At least for the first year, 2 years. No, look at a reasonable kind of return. I would say a 10% return, 20% return, something like that. And of course, daily return, you could make, 3% or so on a daily basis if after a while, after maybe a year or so, but have solid and reasonable goals. Risk management, right? So you need to learn, and it goes to education, of course. When you're doing your education, you will learn risk management. So let's call the risk management R, right? Whatever you risk, that is, let's say 1 R, you then sort of expect to make a profit of, let's say, 2 R or 3 R, right? So if you're risking $500, the trade and the setup and the pattern and the situation has to yield at least $1,500. Okay, maybe $1,000. So if you're risking $500, you need to make $1,000 or $1,500, 1:3 ratio, which means that you cannot go into trades when when the risk to reward ratio is opposite. That means you're risking $1,000, maybe you'll make $100, maybe you'll make $200. You never know. No. So it's the other way around. You gotta really understand risk management. You gotta study that, and I'll make a separate video going into the details of risk management. Money management. Well, risk management, money management could be the same, but money management is also about what are you willing to risk, but also about understanding, what's happening with your capital account. Okay, are you taking out the profits and then just spending it, or are you putting it back into your account? Because compounding is a wonderful thing, right? With compounding, if you're putting back money, at least a part of it, part of your profits back into your account, then your account, and it compounds and your leverage increases and so on. And I'll do a separate video on that. Well, once you do the education, you will automatically understand, which is the best broker platform, but it does make a difference. So you got to work out which is the best broker platform for you in terms of their fees, in terms of how good their software is, and so on and so forth. You got to understand the broker platform, and you got to join a good community, because day trading is not an isolated kind of path. right? If you're trading by yourself and just by yourself, then you're not going to be so effective. You will actually struggle. So you got to join a good community. But, and it's a big but, and this is where I would sort of give you a word of caution. Communities, there's lots and lots of scams going on about these trading communities, right? So you might find people on the internet, people on YouTube talking about day trading and how much profits they're making and so on and so forth. And then they might have a community that they would ask you to join, and you join the community, and they'll say we'll give you stock tips and you can follow my trading. Just be careful. When you have to join a community that is not just about giving you stock tips, but rather where the person running that community is educating you, right? Is sharing their knowledge, not just saying, okay, buy this stock. And no. In fact, when you join such communities, I would say don't take any of those tips and blindly invest in them. Never. Don't just take a ticker. Someone says, box, drop box is today, I think it's going to go up. And then you just go ahead and then you place $500, $1,000, $2,000. No, never. You should always do your technical analysis. Yes, you need to take the kind of tips and look at them, because they scan a lot of communities. The owners of those communities, they have scanners, and over a period of time, you can also get a scanner. But initially, getting a scanner is expensive. So that's where the value is. When you join these communities, they would have a watch list. And those watch lists, they do analyze those watch lists. So just be careful, okay? Be careful the communities you join. Even in education, be careful the courses you join in. Don't blindly go after courses because a lot of the courses are just fluff. And sometimes not just fluff, but also they will teach you bad kind of habits in trading they're going to affect your trading, and you're going to lose money. So be very careful. And I will make videos. I will maybe even explore the different courses out there and give my review, or at least analyze them, and maybe make some recommendations. But we will see. We'll see how that goes. Now, if you like this video, please do subscribe. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit the bell notification, because I'm going to be making a lot more of these videos in this series. I'm also going to be making videos on other types of passive income. So be sure to check those out. If you have any questions on this topic today, whether you want to become a day trader, if you have any questions, just leave them below in the comments and I will surely respond. So till the next video, take care and start your education. All right, take care.